Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a wonderful day today. So we're going to be checking out a new beauty brand. This is Uoma by Sharon C. So this is like the drugstore sister brand to Uoma Beauty. So they came out with some makeup and some skincare stuff. And today we're going to be checking out their foundation and a couple of their lip products. So I'm going to be doing a wear test on the foundation, and then we'll swatch these two lip glosses and we will see what we are working with. So if you're here for the first time, hello and welcome, and thank you so much for stopping by. My name is SonyaNicole, and I post makeup videos here, including some stuff for us 40 and over makeup lovers, aka the Grown and Gorgeous crew. So if that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you subscribe while you're here. I would love to have you join the channel, and I would really appreciate your support. Okay y'all, let's get started. So this new brand, Uoma by Sharon C, this is exclusively at uomabeauty.com or at Walmart, whereas Uoma Beauty is exclusively on their website and at Ulta. So all of their products are vegan, cruelty-free, eco-friendly, and ingredient conscious, and their prices are in like that drugstore range. So we're going to be starting off with the foundation. It's called the Flawless IRL, or In Real Life Foundation. It's actually called the Flawless IRL Skin Perfecting Foundation. It retails for $15 and it's available in 30 shades. It's supposed to give you a lightweight, velvety, and radiant finish, and it's supposed to be buildable from sheer all the way to full coverage. So I picked this up in two shades. I have Bronze Venus T4 and T5. Now when Uoma Beauty first came out with their like original brand, I never got their foundation because I did eventually get frustrated with trying to figure out what my shade was, and I did have the same issue with this because I had to buy it online. I don't think this is available at all of the Walmart stores. I know I couldn't find it in the Walmart that I normally go to, so I did have to get this online, and I did have a little bit of an issue finding my shade because the shade finder was giving me a different option for like every foundation that I put in. So I'm hoping that one of these will work. Just looking at them in the bottle, they'll work, but the bottle is a little frosted, so we'll see. But again, I got the shades Bronze Venus T4 and T5, so I'm gonna do a couple hand swatches of these, and then we will decide which one I'm going to be testing out for today. So I'm just shaking it up. I always like to shake up brand new foundations. So this first one that I'm going to be swatching is Bronze Venus T4. Okay, so this is Bronze Venus T4. This looks like a promising color. It definitely looks like something that will work for me. I have a feeling though T5 might be just a little bit better, like maybe a little richer in color, but we'll see. And this one is T5. Yeah, it's definitely richer in color, but I think I'm going to start off with T4 because T5 looks like it's a bit too rich for my skin tone. It's pulling like maybe a little on the golden side. Like I feel like I could wear either one of these, but I'm going to start off with T4. Let me just mix the two of them together to see what that gives me. So this is the two of them mixed. I may end up doing that too, but let me start off with T4 and see what that gives me. So this is supposed to be like a serum-like moisturizer type foundation. So I was actually expecting like a thinner consistency, but it's a little thicker. So I think I'm gonna start off applying it with a sponge and see how I like that. So I'm just gonna let me just start off with that amount. That's one pump. And you can see how it's like running down kind of slow on my cheeks, so I was expecting it to be just a little thinner than that, but I'm going to be blending it out with my BioTools Eco Blender Sponge. EcoTools Bio Blender Sponge. Okay, so this shade does look like it's blending right into my skin, so I don't think I'm going to bother mixing the other shade in. So that was about like one pump of foundation. So this is supposed to be anywhere from sheer to full coverage. So it does say if you want sheer coverage to go in with your fingers, and then if you want full coverage to go in with a sponge or a brush. So I would say this is like sheer coverage. Like this pretty much like evened out my skin tone. This pretty much operated like a skin tint or a tinted moisturizer so far, but didn't really cover anything up. But I do think like my skin just looks a bit more toned out over here as opposed to over here. So for those of you who don't have as much to cover up as me, this might actually be a good option for a skin tint. It's blending out really nicely so far, and it looks okay so far. So I'm going to go in on the other side, and then we'll build up over here. It has kind of like a baby powdery smell to it. Like, I usually don't like scents in my makeup and skincare. This one has a scent to it, but I can take it because it smells kind of fresh. So if you're like really sensitive to scents, this might be a little overpowering for you. But to me, it reminds me of Fenty Beauty foundation. It doesn't smell just like that, but that's what it's reminding me of. But it has like a pleasant scent. Okay, so this is one pump of the foundation on both sides of my face. And I think it looks okay so far. I'm definitely getting like sheer to light coverage. But it looks like a skin tint. So like one pump, well, a total of 2 pumps all over the face is giving me like skin tint coverage. But I do want to go in and build it up. It's supposed to be buildable all the way to full coverage. So let me just see how it looks as I build it up. I'm not sure how much I want to build it, but it does claim to be buildable all the way to full coverage. I just feel like with that one pump only giving me like sheer coverage, I feel like you're going to have to put on quite a bit of this to get it up to full, and I just don't want to put too much makeup on my face. But I'm thinking maybe I'll build this up to like a medium coverage. It's building really nicely, so I always test out how foundations build up right in this area, because this is where I have all of my acne spots. So if I go in with the second layer and it kind of like automatically just covers up most of this stuff, that lets me know it's nice and buildable. So I'm liking this so far. I'm liking the way it's blending out. I like the shade that I got, and I think it's working out pretty well so far. So yeah, so this is 2 pumps on my face, and then this is 1 pump. So I do think it is nice and buildable. Okay, and I think just for the sake of really testing this product out, I am going to go in with just a little bit more on my cheeks and see if it covers up any more. I usually stop right here because now we're getting into our 3rd pump of product on each side of the face, and I just try to like minimize the amount of foundation that I put on, but I do want to see if it does in fact go up to full coverage. So I am going to go in with, I'm going to do like a half a pump more on each side, and I'm just going to try to like target it right where I have my acne spots. That's good. Yeah, it's pretty much covering everything up. So I do feel like you can build this up to full coverage, especially if you go in with either a microfiber sponge or a brush. So just remember, like sponges, you know, porous sponges, they're just going to automatically soak up some of your product. But this is building up really, really nicely. I'm just going to spread the rest of this around just so that I have somewhat even coverage everywhere. This is kind of reminding me of the Fenty Skin Tint. I think the Fenty Skin Tint gives you more coverage with less product, but the finish of this so far is reminding me of the Fenty product, the Skin Tint. So my first impression on this, I'm liking it so far. Now the real test is going to be how it wears during the day, but first impression wise, I think this looks really, really nice. And again, if you can use me as a shade reference, I got shade Bronze Venus T4, and I think that that's a pretty good shade match for me. So let me know what y'all think, but I am really liking it so far. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to speed through the rest of my makeup, and then we will come back and then we will start the wear test. And of course, everything that I'm going to be putting on will be in the description box. So this is almost my completed look for today. We're going to go into the lip glosses in just a second, but this is what my face is looking like. So it's been about maybe 20 minutes now since I put the foundation on, so it's definitely nice and set by now. But I did also go on top of it with some setting powder. So I think it looks really good so far. I'm not seeing any issues anywhere. So I'm still liking it. So we're gonna move on to the lip gloss, and then we will start our wear test, because that's gonna be the true test of this foundation, is how it wears during the day. So I have 2 of the lip glosses, and they come in, I think, 4 shades. I'm sorry, they come in 6 shades, and they retail for $7 each. So they're called the It's Complicated Lip Tint Plus Oil Plus Gloss. So it's supposed to be all 3 of those in one. So I have 2 of the shades here. I have Casually Lit, that's this color here. We're gonna do some swatches in just a second. And then I have the shade Softy. I'm pretty sure Softy is gonna be the color that I'm gonna wear today, but let me swatch both of these for y'all. So it has like a standard applicator on it. This one is the shade Casually Lit. So that's the shade Casually Lit. I do think this would be a nice like everyday shade, but for me it's more of like a fall shade. And then this next one is called Softy. So this one is definitely more up my alley. It's more of like a purpley mauve shade. So the one on the bottom is Softy. So I'm definitely gonna go in with this. Let me just take my other lip gloss off first. I might want to pair this with a lip liner, but let me just do the gloss on its own first so I can really see what that looks like. It's not showing up at all on my lips. This has an interesting formula to it. So it's showing up just a very little bit on my lips. Let me try to build it up with one more coat. Okay, I just went ahead and put my hair down. So this lip gloss has like a very interesting formula to it. Like, number one, I can definitely see it more now that I've built it up, but this particular color on my lips, if you have like pinkish lips like me and you like mauve type colors like this, you are going to have to put on like 3 coats to be able to see it. And it's supposed to be like a lip tint, so you're not supposed to get like a lot of pigment from it anyway, but I do think that I can see it now that I've gone in with a 3rd coat. But the formula is interesting. It has a very distinct like cooling sensation when you first put it on, but it doesn't feel tingly like a lip plumper. It just feels like cool on your lips, and then that kind of goes away as it sets down. And when it sets, it's hard for me to describe what it feels like on your lips, but it feels kind of like maybe like a lip oil with some kind of butter in it or something. But I'm looking at the information on the website. It doesn't mention anything about having like shea butter or any type of butter in it. It's actually an oil and water formula, and 2 of the main ingredients are avocado oil and hyaluronic acid. So as far as I can tell, there's no type of like butter to this, but it does have like kind of like that soft like whipped butter feel on your lips with a little bit of an oil in it, but it doesn't have quite as much slip to it as like some other lip glosses that I've tried. Like if you tried the Fenty lip gloss, it doesn't feel kind of like as slippery, so to speak, as that, but this does feel really nice and comfortable. Like it feels like a hybrid between a lip oil and like a lip cream, I guess. It's hard for me to describe it, but all I can tell you is that I do really like this. So I am going to be wearing this too, but I'm not necessarily wear testing it, especially since you can't really see the color, but I'll let you know how long my lips continue to feel comfortable with this on them. So far so good with both of these products. So we're gonna go ahead and start our wear test, and it's a little before 8:30 in the morning, so I will just wear this until I feel like it's time to refresh it, and then we will come back and see what my final thoughts are. So I'll see y'all a little bit later on. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I was just talking to the camera for like Lord knows how long, and I didn't hit record. So I am back. It is a little after 4 o'clock, so this is about an 8-hour wear test for today. So really quickly, before we go on to the foundation and I give y'all my final thoughts, real quick about the lip gloss. I took this off after I did part 1 because I filmed another video, so I wanted to change my lipstick out for that, and then I forgot to put this back on. So I did put it back on just to finish out this video, but I really only had this on for like 5-10 minutes this morning, so I really can't give y'all any more information about the lip gloss in terms of how long it wears, because unfortunately I forgot to put it back on. So I'm sorry, but I can tell you that in the time that I've had it on my lips, I do really like it. But we're going to be focusing on the foundation. So this is what I'm looking like after 8 hours of wear, and you guys can tell that I'm shiny in the usual areas. My face has been shiny for about 2 hours now. I just couldn't get back to filming until a short while ago. So I'm gonna say on me, this lasted for about 6 hours before it was really time to like go in and refresh the makeup, but I do still think it looks pretty good. So last thing we're gonna do, like we always do, I'm just gonna blot my T-zone, repowder, and let's see how the makeup refreshes. So I'm just gonna take my tissue here, and then I always just blot off the excess oil around my T-zone. And then I'm gonna go back on top of the T-zone with some more of my setting powder. I really don't need to reset this. I feel like this looks just fine, but I do like to test like going back on top of it with powder just to see how it looks. And I think it looks pretty good. So my final thoughts on this foundation, I really like it and I definitely would recommend it. I think it wore very well on my face today, and this is probably one that's going to go into my rotation. Let me know if you would be interested in a side-by-side comparison of this versus the Fenty Skin Tint, because this is giving me Fenty Skin Tint vibes. So let me know if you would be interested in that. If you can use me as a reference, again, this is the shade Bronze Venus T4, and I think this is a really good shade match for me. So in all of my videos, I always put all of my foundation shades for my most used foundations. I will add this to the list because this is a really good shade match for me. But speaking of shade matching, I would say the only downside to this is I think it is kind of challenging knowing what shade to pick. Same thing with the Uoma Beauty foundation, the one that you can find at Ulta. I do think it's a bit challenging because of the way that they group their shades is just a little different from, it's just not the norm of what everybody else does. So I did have a little bit of an issue finding a shade, which is why I got 2 to be on the safe side, but I like it. I think that this is going to be one that I'm going to be reaching for from time to time. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.